Magic powers you always dreamed of? A world where witches really do exist? All of this and more in the graphic novel The OK Witch by Emma Steinkellner. Let's take a look. Hello everyone, my name is S Comic Maker, and today we're taking a look at a super fun graphic novel called The OK Witch. This is the debut graphic novel of the author and artist Emma Steinkellner and is published by Aladdin. It follows the story of Moth, who is a 13-year-old girl and is totally spellbound by all that is magic and mystery. But one day at school, some weird stuff starts happening and Moth is super shocked to discover the answers. Let's jump into that and talk a little bit more about the plot. The story starts off like a lot of others do, with Moth preparing for school. But today is special because it's Halloween, and today kids get to dress up at school. So, of course, Moth dresses up as a witch because she loves all things magic. But on this Halloween, something is different. Moth feels weird and her body is doing strange things that she can't control. She tries to reason with it until she accidentally shuts the mouth of some bullies and holds their lips in the palms of her hands. Time to freak out, Moth. This is no joke. She does what a lot of us would do. It's time to tell Mom, and runs to the shop her mom owns and tells her that something isn't right. But her mom isn't freaking out like she is. In fact, she rather calmly tells her that all of this makes sense because, surprise, she's a witch. Well, this is the shock of the century. This is also, like, the best thing that has ever happened to Moth. She has been dreaming of something like this for her whole life. There's one catch, though. Her mom refuses to teach her magic or let her practice it. Why, you ask? Well, that is something you'll have to see for yourself. Or wait until the spoiler section, because I want to talk about just a little bit of spoiler stuff for this book. As you may be able to guess, I spend a lot of time going to bookstores. Sometimes I have to really restrain myself from buying more books. I, may have a problem, and may have a big stack of books by my fireplace that I need to catch up on. But late last year, when this book came out, I saw it on the shelves, and I wanted it badly. But I had to say, no, as comic maker. Think about the dragon horde of books you have at home. Think about how much they need reading. But let me tell you, the art in this book is just right up my alley. The big eyes, the exaggerated expressions, Moth's adorable messy hair, her beautiful curvy mom, her tall lanky friend. I just wanted this book, but I stopped myself. It's like that meme, Mom, can I have cool book? No, we have cool book at home. Books at home. But then once we started the indoor life that everyone is living, my husband surprised me by buying me the book anyway, and had no idea how bad I had wanted it before.
Here, babe, I got this book for you. It looks like the kind of style you like.
So thank you, honey. I love your face. Thank you for feeding my addiction. Anyway, the art in this book is just so much fun to look at. The characters, especially Moth, are so expressive. The environments and colors just fit together with the characters so well, and I love how the flashback scenes with Moth's mom are done with like softer colors, blue line art, and a different textured brush. These scenes were definitely some of my favorites. I also just love the clothes in this book. I know I don't normally talk about fashion or clothes, but I wanted every outfit that Moth and her mother wore for real. I think the only times where the art took me out of the moment were a couple scenes during the climax of the story, but it may have been like one or two panels in comparison to like all of the other ones. Overall, it was pleasing to the eyes and the characters are just so much fun to watch. Oh, you know what time it is. It's spoiler time. If you don't want any such talk of the plot after seeing how cool the book looks and you want to be surprised, either mute the video or skip to this time here. Now let's get into it. So there is some amazing stuff in this book, let me tell you. Even though in the sleeve of this book it says that it can be for ages 8 to 12, I was really sucked in, and there are elements that are dark that completely absorbed me. Normally in some graphic novels, when the history of an event or a long descriptive scene comes in, I tend to have a hard time focusing on what I'm reading, but there is a part of this book where they talk about the history of witches and witches being hunted that I was so engrossed in and may have been some of my favorite parts of the story. Turns out Moth's mom is a couple hundred years old and had previously been sneaking in and out of a magical hiding place to basically be a superhero witch. Eventually, she left her mother and all of the other witches in hiding entirely because she wanted to live among humans. Anything with Moth's mom, Cal, I was totally into. And watching Moth learn magic from her mom by walking through flashbacks of her mom's past was pretty dang cool stuff. But I don't want to spoil everything, so that's all I will say about that stuff. But there is one last spoiler-related thing that I want to talk about that I wish was elaborated a little bit more in the story. Or at least I wish they talked about it or brought it up again later or something. But the main reason why Moth's mom doesn't want her to learn magic is because of an incident that happened after she left the witches and met Moth's father, where his memories were erased and he no longer knows who Moth's mom is. While I think this is a believable plot device to happen, it killed me to just watch the dad walk away from her and Moth's mom just crumble, and then they never talk about it again. I like to give comics the benefit of the doubt here and assume that there is always more story that the author or artist just couldn't include due to time, editing, and constraints and stuff like that. But I think I was just surprised that she didn't try to rekindle the relationship with him, even if he forgot her. And my biggest issue in this is that this guy literally has a child that he doesn't even know exists. I'm sure it's complicated, but this part just didn't quite sit right with me. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. There are some super engaging and intense scenes. The expressions on the characters really pull you into the drama and into the humor of the story, and the character designs are really lovable, and you want all of them to find happiness. I would recommend this book to middle schoolers and beyond because I think adults would really enjoy this book too. I know I definitely did. But as comic maker, aren't you biased because you are a goof that loves witches and monsters and magic and stuff? So, magic is cool and I like it and it's fun and witches are awesome. Well, I can't argue with that. I mean, I wish I was magical. All I ever seem to be able to do in these videos is explode. Aw, well, that sucks. So for the fan art of this graphic novel, I really wanted to draw something with Moth and her mom Cal. I loved reading about these two sweet girls and seeing their relationship on these pages. I feel like in a lot of comics for kids, the parents always strictly take on an authoritarian role or are there solely to give the main character something to work through, but in this book, I felt like her mother and her were equals and they both had such nice arcs. So for this drawing, I really wanted to draw the two of them together. I like to think of it as like an aftermath scene. So I drew Moth flying with her mom and Mr. Laszlo the cat in her mom's lap. I drew them in some of my favorite outfits that they wore, and my god, my favorite thing to draw were the little extra hair strands. I can see why her characters had them. Super, super fun to draw. With all of that said, if you would like to read this book, I'll leave a link to where you can get your hands on it in the description below. And I'll also leave the website and social media links of the artist and author Emma Steinkellner as well. With this being her debut story, I am insanely excited to read more from her. I'm so happy that I own this book and I'm thrilled that I got to review it and share it with all of you. If you liked this review and want to hear me gush about more graphic novels I enjoyed, I'll leave an iCard here with a playlist to all the other graphic novels I've reviewed. But that's it for me this week, guys. As always, videos like this are possible because of my amazing patrons and people like you who like, comment, and share my videos. I appreciate you all stopping by, and I hope that we can draw together again soon. Bye, guys.